Hello, Planet Internet. I am Emperor Cole, and this is Tampa Bay Bucs Corner, brought to you by Mindbender Entertainment for Mindbender Sports. Today, we're going to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' upcoming game versus the Los Angeles Rams. Let's do it. Last week, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took on the Arizona Cardinals, and unfortunately, this game did not go our way. Not very much positives I can take out of it because we lost that one 40-7. Our offense looked very bad and sloppy. Starting quarterback Jameis Winston threw 4 interceptions and only 1 touchdown. Our defense could not stop anyone. We got scored on. We basically gave up 40 points. So whenever you give up a 40 spot, there's nothing positive that can be said about your defense. Whenever your offense only puts up 7 points, there's nothing positive that can be said about your offense. So on that note, that's all I got to say about that game.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, so in week 3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be squaring off against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are coming off a big win versus Seattle, in which they held them to only a field goal the entire game. Granted, the Rams themselves only scored 9 points, but to hold the Seattle Seahawks to only a field goal for the whole entire game is very impressive on any given Sunday. Okay, so Tampa Bay will be without 3 key starters for this particular game. We're going to be without running back Doug Martin. He's out with a hamstring injury. Robert Ayers, our starting defensive end, which we signed in free agency, he's out with an ankle injury. And our tight end, Luke Stocker, is out also. A key player that we're going to need to step up this week is going to be Charles Sims. Charles Sims does not have to be Superman this week. He doesn't have to run for 100 yards, but we will need him to be a serviceable running back. He needs to be effective in the moments when he is called upon. So if we run the football on like a 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, we need him to be able to pick up those yards. If he gets hit on a swing pass and he's got some open space, we need him to be able to make one guy miss and turn a 3 or 4 yard gain into a 12 to 15 yard game and get the first down. We need him to help move the chains. We need him to secure the football and not fumble. We need him to play like he is the guy, because for the next 3 weeks, he's going to be the guy while Doug Martin is out. Jameis is a key player, obviously, because he's the starting QB. We need him to get out to a good hot start early off in the game. We need him to start out 4 for 4, 5 for 5 in passes, get his confidence up, get him to the point where he's willing to take those shots downfield so we can get the big chunks of yardage. We need Jameis to be getting to a good comfort zone so we can avoid the interceptions. We need him to be able to convert on 3rd downs. 3rd downs are huge for us because as of right now in 2 games, we are only 8 for 22 on converting 3rd downs. That's only a 36% conversion percentage, and we need to be higher than that because our offense under Dirk Cutter is actually, we're projected to be a top 5 offense again this year. So 36% on 3rd down is not going to get the job done. We need to move those chains. We need to get those first downs. We need to put points on the board. The Los Angeles Rams have a top-tier defensive unit. Their front 7 is very strong. They've got very fast linebackers, very big and strong defensive linemen. They're slightly vulnerable in their secondary because their guys are a little undersized, but they can't cover, and those guys definitely can read routes pretty well. Tampa Bay has an advantage because we have bigger wide receivers. So Jameis and the wide receivers definitely need to be able to take advantage of that. Our defense needs to be able to force the tempo of the game against Case Keenum. We need to be able to hit him with the blitz, particularly on 3rd downs. We need to force that football to come out of his hands quickly, and we need to be able to get him on the ground a couple times and sack him. Make sure we beat him up all game so that by the time the 3rd and 4th quarter comes, he's worn out, he's making bad decisions, we're getting turnovers. We want to make sure we physically beat him up. Defense, the Bucs will need to be able to crowd the line and stop Todd Gurley. We're going to need to make sure we show him 8 and 9-man fronts and force the Rams to throw the football. We're going to have to force Case Keenum to actually be able to make good decisions, to be able to throw the ball accurately downfield and beat us. Todd Gurley has not exploded for a lot of yards yet this season. Game 1 against San Francisco, he only had 51 yards. Game 2 versus the Seahawks, he only had 47 yards. So, Tampa Bay needs to make sure he does not explode on us. Pause. We need to make sure he doesn't have that big game and get 120, 130, 140 yards and scored 2 or 3 touchdowns. In other news, the Tampa Bay Bucs have released Austin Seferian-Jenkins. The tight end was with the team for, I believe, 2 seasons. He was the second-round draft pick in 2014. Unfortunately, he's had a couple run-ins with the coaching staff, and recently, I believe just early Friday morning, he was arrested for a DUI. The coaching staff decided that he was becoming more trouble than he was worth actually keeping, so they released him. Hopefully, he's picked up by another team eventually and able to get himself together and clean up his act. Alright, so now it's time for me to make a prediction on this game in Week 3 versus the Los Angeles Rams. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we need to show some toughness. We need to show some grit, especially after the way we got our asses handed to us versus the Cardinals. We need to show the league and put everybody on notice that that was a fluke game and that we are serious this year. We are legitimate playoff contenders. So, although the Rams have a very tough defense and a struggling kind of iffy offense, I believe this is going to be a very tough game. It's going to be a close game, and I'm picking the Bucs to win 16-13. 16-13, Tampa Bay gets the win in our home opener versus the Los Angeles Rams. Okay, this has been Tampa Bay Bucs Corner for Week 3 versus the Los Angeles Rams. If you are a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan or an NFL football fan, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure you check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Mindbender Entertainment. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at MindbenderENT. And of course, make sure you check out the website, mindbenderent.com. And remember, the future is now.